Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Care here. We're back with our weekly Q&A&T. This is Season 4, Episode 10. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that, if you can't tell, I'm a little sick. Again, pretty recently. And I just wanted you guys to be aware, in case I sound funny, or in case when I turn and cough away from the microphone, it still picks up. So bear with us, but as they say, the show must go on.
You're a real trooper, man.
Anyways, our first question, or I guess more of a comment that we can address as if it were a question, comes from Dennis Hansen. And they say, I have commented a solution to Survivor being glitched for Android so many times before on your other vids. I just can't be bothered anymore when you don't read the comments. Sorry for bad English. So we can treat it like the implicit question, why aren't you reading my other comments?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to read actually the comment that I put on it, but I thought it was worth maybe going into a little bit more detail because it's a taking off point for something that I want to discuss.
Yeah.
So originally what I said was we've tried uninstalling and then reinstalling. It doesn't work for us because that was his solution, okay?
Yeah.
It also didn't work for commenter who replied to you. So we didn't feel it was necessary to pile on, especially since you weren't the only person who made the suggestion, and we've responded at other times to other commenters who made the same suggestion.
Yeah, we definitely incorporate advice from commenters whenever it works.
Yeah, and saying that we don't read comments is a funny accusation considering we've been doing weekly Q&A videos based on questions pulled from comments since, and when I went back to check on the video, since August 2015, which sounds like a long time actually.
And we've actually done like a lot of specific stuff to test it.
Right, so here's the funny thing, right? Our channel, as low production value as our videos are, and as much as we try to get stuff out quickly, we don't do a lot of editing, if any. There's still a lot of work that goes into doing some of the stuff that we do, even if it's just to come up with the idea. So all right, here's I want to give everybody an idea of what we've done to test this particular glitch.
That doesn't work for us.
Right. So we did the uninstalling and then reinstalling, and nothing happened. So one of the things that I considered is it possible that because of our settings with Google, when you uninstall a game but reinstall it later, Google Play remembers that you had the game before and uses the Google Cloud Save to replace your progress, right? So not only did I uninstall and reinstall it, I did that again and then started the game without an internet connection. And then the main page, instead of showing LexCorp gear, it was showing fourth row gear set. And I'm thinking, okay, so maybe this looks a little bit promising. So with this account that was completely fresh with 3 bronze characters, I made progress in the new account, played enough to create a team that would be good enough to take the first 6 to 9 rounds of Survivor, accumulated a bunch of last laugh tickets, and I cashed them out repeatedly, right? So I used the airplane mode glitch to get a refund when we didn't get any legendary gear, and after doing that a few times, finally got some legendary gear that was always Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Despite it now showing the fourth world gear set instead of what we normally have on our account. So this is the kind of work that goes into testing it and saying this isn't working for us. So it's not just a matter of messing around and ignoring people. So I actually feel bad that you feel like we're ignoring you, but we're not.
Yeah.
And we figured that if somebody else replies to a comment with what's essentially the same information that we would have, oftentimes, depending on how busy I'm that day, I'm actually just gonna go right by it because I figure it's already been dealt with.
We used to reply to pretty much 100% of comments regardless of the content, but I think recently we've tried to go more towards only ones that address us specifically or ones that we think we have anything meaningful to say on.
Right.
So in this case, it was just a luck of the draw that didn't include one of your comments that we replied to directly.
Right. And the thing is, too, there's a lot of testing that we do that doesn't actually result in content that's usable. So maybe that gets missed. So one of the things that we've done in our Patreon is that when we do pack drop rate, so in the most recent example, we actually did 100 most wanted packs because there's that notation of new on it. We actually posted the numbers from the raw footage that we got as far as the distribution of characters.
Yeah, just a little bit ahead of time.
Right, before we actually made the video, because there was a chance, like with the Injustice 2 Premium Pack, that we would never get around to making a video.
Yeah.
We did, so the numbers weren't wasted, but this way at least with Patreon, we've got a place where we can type stuff out maybe a little bit quicker than waiting to make a video.
And that's actually a good segue. We've got a question from one of our patrons. We
From
actually
two.
have 2 questions.
Yeah.
But this is the first of 2. Excuse me. This one comes from Alberto Jr. Camarillo. And they say, "You're welcome for the support, as you guys have earned it. First off, thank you.
Yes.
Just a question for the next Q&A&T available. Do you think the Injustice devs are still passionate about continuing to put out new content? If not, how will Injustice be affected?"
All right, so sometimes, well, a lot of times, I avoid these kind of questions where I have to guess at what people think, but it gave me an excuse to maybe look back on what's been happening, right? So here's the thing, whether they're still passionate or not, there's no way for us to know. We have no inside connection. If anything, if our Injustice 2 experience is anything to go by, they are specifically ignoring us because support never even contacted us about the Injustice 2 account anyways.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, actually, because, I mean, whether they're passionate about it or not, unfortunately, probably isn't actually a question that matters.
Right, because what we can see, actually, is how much time they're putting into it in terms of their output, right?
Yeah, because one thing that's really interesting, a business in which whether they're passionate would matter is Valve, because Valve has a flat employee structure where there aren't people who are directly answering to other people, and you can just work on whatever project you want. That's very much an outlier, and that's almost definitely not how it would work at NetherRealms, Warner Brothers, whatever group is currently handling this project, if there is even anybody full-time on it.
That's a good point, although I would maybe assume that people who get to work in the video game industry probably have a little bit more passion for their career than, say, an accountant or somebody stuck at a desk job where there isn't this kind of, I don't know, because video games as an industry probably hasn't been a big employer until maybe in the last 20, 30 years.
And I definitely think it's an interesting and maybe worthwhile question to ask if they're passionate about it. I think the issue is that even if they were, it wouldn't necessarily translate into more content.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's look at the, if we want to look at a metric to decide how much time is being put into it, if you look at the number of new characters that are being added with each update.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been used to updates every 2 to 3 months with a handful of new characters. So if we look at the dates, Update 2.0 dropped April 2014. So looking at the numbers, we've had 19 updates since then over the next, not quite 4 years. It's actually, when I was looking at the numbers maybe a few days ago, it was like, at the time where 2.19 dropped and a little bit after that, 1,400 days. So that's averaging an update every 74 days.
Yeah.
Right? So the last full update was 2.17 with 1 new gear, the Super Pill, and 5 new characters, right? New 52 Superman, Earth 2 Flash, Earth 2 Hawkgirl, Classic Scorpion, and Arkham Origins Deadshot. And that was October 3rd, 2017. So it was more than 150 days since then, with 2 updates, which is right for the amount of updates, right? You know, averaging every 74 days.
Yeah.
But only 1 new character in each, right? Rebirth Green Arrow in 2.18, Gaslight Batman in 2.19, and 1 new gear in each that still hasn't been released yet. So whether it's accurate or not, it feels like they've been stretching out content over the last 2+ months. Well, all right, no, actually, we're talking maybe 150 days. We're talking maybe 5 months.
Yeah.
That can't be a good sign, right? I'm hoping that it's a result of fewer people dedicated to maintaining Injustice, because I would rather have fewer people working on Injustice than maybe nobody doing it, but they're slowly doling out the little bit of new content that they've got on backlog, a little bit at a time, to make it stretch out as long as they can, to make it feel like there's still somebody, you know, at the shop and the lights aren't all turned off and they're ready to shut down. Yeah,
so the unfortunate reality is that we can't really answer the question about whether they're passionate or whether they're going to continue working on it. We can hope, though.
Right. The last 5 months, though, is not a great indicator.
For sure. So there we go. Our next question comes from Lane, who's Lane on our Patreon, but versus Lane, or versus Lane, 2 capital I's.
Right.
And they say, "So I have played with many teams, and I have to say that I consider the Flashpoint team the best/most efficient team for multiplayer. But I do have a tweak to the gears when compared to your guys' lineup. Batman has Kama, Knife Collection, and the collection of letters and numbers that is the overpowered pill, the super pill when it's all. leveled up. You gain so much health with this, as his combo ender has 3 parts, so effectively we can gain 45% health. Deathstroke has Harness, Adept Knives, and the Ibis Stick. Harness works with him best, in my opinion, as he is the main damage dealer of the team and is vital to be protected. Aquaman has 4th World Chestplate and Helmet and Mutated Bone Spikes. This lineup has been unbeaten for me for the last 500 games at least. Let me know what you think of this alteration.
Okay, so instead of actually letting you know what we think, we're actually going to show you. So if anybody was paying attention at the beginning when I showed the gears at the beginning of these fights, we are running exactly this gear loadout. And if you remember from our previous ones, the changes in... So let's say, all right, Batman, he's got Kama, so something with basic damage boost plus crit chance, instead of custom rifle, which is basic damage boost, no crit chance for him, but chance of unblockable. And the rest is basically the same. I can't remember which, whether it was Knife Collection or Mutated Bone Spikes, but it's basically damage boost plus heal on special 1 and the same overpowered super. So it's the same. The reason why we do it that way instead is because the Kama with the crit chance boost doesn't add enough. When he's fully augmented like we have him, the overpowered super takes him close enough to 100% that I want to use that second ability on the gear for something else. And I like the unblockable chance, even if it's only, like 11%. So, potato, it's probably not a huge difference. Aquaman is the biggest change because we've got the same chestplate and helmet, but the Mutated Bone Spikes, which we've got on him now, is there instead of Astro Harness. So it makes him a little bit better as far as an attacker because he's got the basic damage boost. He's a little bit hardier in one way because he can heal on special 1.
Yeah.
But he's a lot weaker as a tank because he's not taking the Astro Harness, right? Mm-hmm. So there's not those periods of invulnerability. And I'm not sure if I was going to do something different, just having played him a bit, I probably would tweak this gear load a little bit by putting on another defensive gear, maybe like the charged disc, so I can reflect a few specials too.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely interesting. As you can see here, I mean, yeah. it totally works, and it's not hugely different, right? I think the point that you made also is that it's just a slight tweak.
Yeah, and because the team is amazing, and the one thing I'm sort of saving the best for last is that Deathstroke, who is on our team sort of the main guy because we bring him in first. I actually like a couple things with what you've done, and there's some things that I still struggle with a little bit. So what makes him better is because he's got the Astro Harness. What that swapped out for is what we had originally was Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar. So Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar gives the first bar of power, which we miss out on, but it also gives it also gives you a little bit of basic damage boost, which the Astro Harness does not. Mm-hmm. And you've got Ibis Stick instead of Heart of Darkness. So that's pretty much a wash because it gives you what we're looking for out of that is the power gen boost.
Yeah.
Which is important so that because with his combo ender, he's actually generating a bar and a bit of power every tap combo that he gets. And that way, my strategy for Deathstroke is I like to have him with 2 bars of power before I start doing his special 1 so that when I knock one guy out, I have another special so my move comes in faster than the guy dropping in to try to attack me, right? So it's more of a defensive issue. What's great about Astro Harness, and you can see this here, is that normally when the first slot guy has a bar of power or 2 bars of power, or there's somebody on the other side like Arkham Knight Harley Quinn who will attack you if you tag in, I'm often torn because I want to bring in my tank first. But now in this case, I don't have to worry because I can just drop in Deathstroke. He's still my tank. Yeah. And I can generate at least a bar of power because I will get in at least one combo, one tap combo with no problem. And if they do their special, even better because then I eat it without actually taking any damage. Mm-hmm. So in those fights, I don't actually... It's easier because normally what I do is have to decide whether I'd let Flashpoint Batman eat the special, or whether I would tag in Aquaman to eat the special, but then I'd have to sort of bide my time until he could tag out again for Deathstroke, or bring in Deathstroke and hope that I could do a tap combo fast enough to drain them of power, which addresses only the guys with bars, but doesn't address Arkham Harley Quinn, where I'm tempted to either leave Flashpoint Batman in until Harley Quinn tags in, or bring in Aquaman again because her passive doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so that's just bits of kind of quirks with it that are different from what we're used to. But obviously this gear works pretty well for you, as 500 plus battles with this team is consistent, right? That's a pretty high degree of consistency. So you obviously probably will have had excuse me, you will have realistically had these same kind of experiences as us, right? And maybe have a little bit of your own strategy to work through it.
Yeah. So now that I've sort of commented indirectly, we can watch we'll sort of do that directly on the next fight.
Yeah.
So my strategy basically is, as long as the first guy, it almost doesn't matter now, actually. Now with this loadout where Astro Harness is in play, I tag in Deathstroke basically at the beginning. I'm hoping to, unless there's a reason I don't want to because they're protected against specials or protecting special ones, then I just do it the same way. But alright, so this is an easy one. I tag in Deathstroke because you don't want to actually soften them up with Batman, because you want to make the most of generating power from the first guy or girl in this case, and have, again, I want 2 bars. Part of me is tempted, now that I've been playing it a little bit more, it's almost better not to complete the first tap combo, because if I complete the first tap combo, my invulnerability is done, and then I have to make sure I time it right to get the second tap combo. It's almost better not to do the combo ender, and then do the second one with the combo ender, because then when my invulnerability fades, see, watch this, my invulnerability is gone, right? So if I just done a few taps to start with, that was not a good way to illustrate it. If I just done the taps to start with, I would have been able to finish my second combo and have 2 bars. And I still like to finish a combo simply because then I know I'm getting an unblocked special one like that.
Yeah.
Oh, lies. Usually, most of the time it's easy to time right. All right, this is going to be funny because he's going to return all my damage and I'm going to have no health left, but it won't matter.
This ain't no Survivor. We don't have to worry about taking hits.
So it's an excellent team, but the point stands, Lane, that this is just a spectacular team, because no matter how you gear each of the guys,
they're still pretty good.
Yeah, all 3 have a huge offensive potential because of Flashpoint Batman's passive that gives everybody destructive blows, where the crit damage is huge. So it's really important that they're augmented for crit chance. All right, so let's see. Yeah, nothing important. He's not going to dodge any specials. And here's the thing, right? If he chooses 2 bars out of his wing tech boost, I don't even care. And the good thing about this kind of team is it almost doesn't matter which one of Batgirl or Luchador Bane has the loadout of the Cloak of Destiny and League of Assassins Knives, because they'll drop in, and I'm hoping that when they do, I'm in the middle of a combo with Deathstroke so I don't get stunned. So as long as I don't get stunned, that's not going to matter. Oh, he blocked everyone. Alright, but I got 2 bars. I just got to wait it out. Or not. Okay, so this is going to be interesting.
Okay, if we
I need a combo ender from Batman to heal a bit. There we go.
Wow, so this is a good example of your strategy coming in real handy,
right,
with the insane amounts of healing. That really did kind of make this fight possible again.
Right, now, so he's got a revive, but he doesn't have Astro Harness, so he's not as good at...
Yeah, this is where Astro Harness would have been good, but it also is a good example of your gear loadout actually being sufficient in a different way.
Yeah, so I need another combo, and the problem is it's hard to get the combo. We got lucky last time when he was down to no health. Ooh,
oh, crap.
Sort of like this. So we've got 1 revive left, and we've got to make this one count.
There's a little bit of health.
The one reason why I like our loadout with Aquaman a little bit better is because the main way he's going to be getting rid of people or finishing them off is from the bleed from a special 1. So I just need him to last a long time and outlast whatever damage over time the other guy is going to take.
Yeah.
So as a backup, he's not as good. As a tank, he's not as good. And I guess my issue, it's not yours, it's mine, is that I tend to make a mistake every once in a while when I'm not paying attention. And I don't... Alright, so he's nothing. So I like the other guys to maybe be a little bit sturdier. Yeah, I have trouble if Aquaman can't hold his own, and then when I'm done like that early, and Luchador Bane drops, that was actually a pretty good illustration.
Yeah. So I guess just as we're coming up to the end of the video, we did actually answer questions from both of you, but we'd also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to both of our Patreons, Lane and Alberto Jr. Camarillo.
And I'm going to mention Laszlo, not because he's supported us at a level high enough that we would normally have that as part of the rewards, but because, you know,
well,
I'm
we're
just
also
grateful.
Thankful. Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
Just grateful.
When the specifically being named tier, I guess, is more of something that we want to not promise anything better than that, because there's a certain point where we can't, like, give individual shout-outs to everybody who's given us money, if it ever gets to that point, but we're not at that point yet, so we actually can just thank everybody who's willing to toss us a buck or two.
And I'm not gonna, I'll put your name in the description, Laszlo, but I'm not gonna try to say it, because I know I'm gonna butcher it. It is clearly not in my native language.
Yeah.
So this is a great team. You're absolutely right, Lane. Deathstroke is the main damage dealer. The only place I can see where this might be a problem is when you're facing a team full of guys who are meant to avoid or punish specials, like Wally West, for example, would be a little bit difficult because he's going to be punishing us a little bit. And what's funny is Reverse Flash is not an issue, because if anything, Reverse Flash, I actually look forward to facing him, because what it means is I get to hit him over and over with splash damaging specials, so that when he finally tags out, the other guys have almost no health left. All right, last fight. Make it a good one. All right, so this is a good example. Now I don't have to worry about Arkham Knight Batgirl. So this is why your loadout is actually really good, because in other situations, what I might be doing is just using Flashpoint Batman for a bit. Oh, actually, no, it's not Batgirl that's the issue. It's Harley Quinn, so it doesn't matter. I just need to finish him off fast enough so that if she comes in and stuns. I'm getting all mixed up. Oh, so many Arkham Knight characters. I can't wait till that pack comes back.
I am a little loopy from the sickness, so I'm also a little out of it today. Oh my goodness. I really hope that these coughs have been quiet.
Yeah, so the power drain I don't miss it nearly as much because of, first, the number of guys with LexCorp gear that will reverse the power drain, but also because what I'm trying to do is do enough damage that by the time they... Oh, perfect, sweet.
Oh, wow, look at that timing. Sucks that it was blocked, though.
Yeah, that's okay.
Still done for. Oh, no health left. A little bit of health left.
All right, so now maybe we'll bring in somebody else to take advantage of their specials, or we're just going to finish him off. He's not got a lot of health left.
We've got a special now, and he can't swap, so...
That's true.
Yeah, just grab him.
All right. That was sweet. So, yeah, thanks again to Alberto and Lane and Laszlo. And if you look at the time, actually, this has been a pretty effective gear loadout for us, too. It's reasonably quick double ultimate battle ladders.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.